Hi everyone, welcome to class. This is Chidi and today I'll be putting you through the process of this beautifully finished bustier that we drafted in the last tutorial. This class is loaded. Ensure you watch to the end so that you will see every bit of the step that I took to realize this beautiful top. Without wasting much of our time, I'm going to take you through the whole process. Right here, I have the pattern pieces from the last tutorial already cut. I'll go ahead and show you the next thing to do. I have also cut the linings for each of the pieces, except for the sleeve because it's self-faced. Okay? Right here, I have my hairstay and I'll go ahead and apply the hairstay to all the pattern pieces except the sleeve since it's going to be draped. Yes, I don't want it to be so heavy. That is why I won't be applying the hairstay on it. Here I've put the hairstay on fold and I'll be placing all the pattern pieces on it. I'll cut out for both the fabric and for the lining, and I'll go ahead and use iron to glue the hairstay to the fabric and the lining. I've cut for the fabric. I'll go ahead and do the same for the lining, and I'll go on to iron it on to the fabric pieces and the lining pieces. I've done that already. I will be using this paper gum, not the thick type. You can also use the thick paper to do this. I'll be applying it on the necklines, necklines of just the lining. Just the lining. I'll be cutting it like facing, just as you can see. I've already cut all the facings that I'll be gluing to the necklines to structure the necklines of this cloth. I won't be gluing it now. I will do that after I must have applied the wadding or the breast padding for this cloth. Be very attentive and watchful so that you will understand everything I'm going to do. Here I have my wadding and I'll go ahead and cut the breast part. Watch carefully to understand what I did with this breast padding and how I cut it. Here I've placed the wadding on fold and I'll go ahead and cut it out. I'll go ahead and cut it out and observing the underbust and every other point that I need to observe. Here I'm marking the seam allowance where the seam allowance starts. That's what I'm marking because it's going to help me to mark my guideline. Here I've measured 1 to 1.5 inches from that seam allowance notch. Okay, I'm going to notch it also. Watch carefully to understand why I am putting those notches. I will also drop the wadding by 1 inch, just the wadding there. I will trim it off so that it will not get to the neckline. Never allow your wadding or any kind of interfacing that is as thick as this to get to your neckline. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I will take that as a guideline and I will cut a curve just as I have done. Perfect. This is how it's going to stay. Just place it on your underbust and every other part will fall in place. I'm going ahead to cut another one because this will be used on both the lining and the fabric. This is actually the light wadding, the very light one. I'll go ahead and cut also for the center piece. I'm trimming off the excess hairstay so that it will not affect my stitching when I start sewing. I'll go ahead and cut for the center piece. Watch how I'm going to cut for this center piece. I've placed it right on the bust and I'm going ahead to cut it out. After I've cut out, I'm going to mark 1 inch. I'm going to drop this neckline by 1 inch. Watch me do that. I'm trimming out 1 inch from the neckline so that this will not get to the neckline and affect the neck. Now I've gone up there by 1 inch and I've smoothened it to the underbust of the wadding. Watch carefully to understand what I'm doing. I'll go ahead and place the wording like this when I'm ready to glue it. So I'll go to my ironing bay and glue all this in place. This is how to place it, and those by the sides. Then I will place my facing, the neckline structuring, that is the interfacing I cut earlier. So I've gone ahead to use my iron to stabilize and fix these things to the fabric and the linings, just as you can see on the screen. I've placed everything. The next step is to start sewing. Watch carefully to understand what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and sew. Observe the notches, under bust notches, bust point notches, seam allowance notches. I observed, and this is how I'm going to place it and sew. I'll sew from down to up. I've gone ahead to sew the lining. You can see what I have there. I top stitched. That is for the lining. It's only the lining I top stitched. Then for the fabric, I've gone ahead to stitch the bust, just as you can see on the screen. I want to notch it. Watch me notch every bit of it because it's a curve. The bust is a curve. You notch so that it will relax. So I'll be going to my ironing bay to iron and open up the seams and iron it properly as it's supposed to be, front and the back parts of the fabric. So I'll go ahead and iron, then I'll show you every bit of it. Here I am at the ironing bay with my bust ham. You can see my bust ham there. I've started ironing. I'm opening up the seams and ironing properly the way it should be. Okay, I'll place my bust ham under the bust and I'll be using it to open up the bust and iron properly and in place. Watch carefully to understand. I've opened up the seam. Do your own like that. Make sure you open it up and iron very, very well. Ironing is very important in sewing. I've gone ahead to iron the second bust, and here I have my hairstay. Along the stretching part, you are going to cut the pieces. Make sure you cut the stretchy parts. I'm using hairstay to stabilize the bust cup further. Watch what I'm doing. Ensure you are using the stretchy part so that it will not affect the cup. If you don't know how to do this, then it's better you cut the hairstay on bias grain so that it will be stretchy. You don't use what is not stretchy on this bust cup so that the bust will be flexible. The same reason why it was notched. So you can place what is not stretchy on it and now seize the movement or the flexibility of the bust curve. Okay, so I've gone ahead to iron and I'm ironing even better from the front side. It's always better to use your clothes, ironing clothes, please. Nevertheless, use your ironing clothes. I've ironed and you can see how beautiful the bust cup is looking. Right here I've come back to my table and you can see the bust cup, how beautiful it's looking. I went ahead to use the hairstay all over. I also ironed the back seam open and flat. So that's what I have there. So after doing this, just watch carefully to see how I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. If you watch what we have on the screen, there is a bias running along the bust cup. I don't want to use this bias for this. This is my cloth actually, and I don't intend to use bias, but I am placing it this way so that you understand how you can do it in case you want to put bias in yours. So this is already made bias. If you want to use it on your cloth, you go ahead and place it just the way I have placed it, pin it down, and use your machine to sew it down properly. That's all. It's at this stage that you will do that. At this stage is the best stage to do that before you progress to the next step. I won't be using it, so I'm moving ahead to the next step. Having done that, I'll go ahead and join the front and the back patterns, just as you can see on the screen. I'll join it and also join the lining, then I will show you what I have. I've joined it. Here is what I have. The back coupled, the fabric coupled, and the lining coupled also. This is my allowance, the seam, the excess I have at the side, and this is how I'm going to keep it and iron it. I'll iron it open and make an angle at those hem edges and around the armhole side too. Just be watchful to see what I'm going to do. Right here, I want to reduce the length of the lining. That is exactly how to do it so that your lining cannot come out at the hem of the dress. I'm trimming off 1 inch from the hem of the lining. I'm trimming it off, and I'll go ahead and iron this lining just the same way I am to do for the main fabric. I've ironed it. I've ensured I put the angles so that my seam will relax. That's why it's important to make those angles at those points. As you can see, this is to make sure that every seam is relaxed and beautiful. Okay guys, so here I have my sleeve. Okay, I won't be cutting any lining for it because it's already self-lined. I'll go ahead and stitch it just the way I'm pointing. I will also do for the second one, and I'll show you what I have. Here I've stitched the lining. I'll go ahead and notch and then turn it over. Here I'm notching it. I'm notching the sleeve, and after that I'll turn them over, the two sleeves. After turning it, I'll go ahead and iron and then put the pleats. Beautiful. To put these pleats, you have to measure the point that the sleeve will be joining so that you will not pleat it and then have excess or have something smaller than what you need. So that is what I did. I formed the pleats and I'll be fixing it to the sleeve, just as you can see. I'm going ahead to fix it to the sleeve. I'm going ahead to fix it to the sleeve, and you will see what I have. Here I've fixed the sleeve to the body of the dress, to the torso foundation. I've fixed it. You can see how beautiful it's already coming out. Watch carefully to understand. So next I will be using the lining to turn the neck. I'll be using the lining to tuck the neck, but before then I'll put my zip in place. The zipper will be placed in, stitched right in place. After I stitch the zip, this is what I have. I had to wear it and see what it's like since it's my clothes. So this is me having fixed the zip. I'm going further to fix the lining. See how beautiful it's coming out. The back is lying so flat and beautiful. The dress is coming out lovely. I have to cut the zip there, the excess of the zipper. I trimmed it off. So right now I'll open it up completely and then stitch the neckline. So this is how I stitch my neckline. I'm going to stitch it in place and then I will show you what I have. Here I've stitched the neck. Beautiful. I've stitched it and even stitched where the sleeve is joined for the front, but I didn't do that for the back because of the shape of the neckline for the back. The sleeve point is still exposed for the back. So I'm going to go ahead and top stitch. After top stitching, before I will close up that sleeve part of the back. Okay, I hope you understand. I'll top stitch first before I can close up. Now I'm notching the neckline. I'm going ahead to notch the neckline. Trim off any excess or anywhere you need to blend it and then top stitch. Okay, so I'll go ahead and top stitch and show you what I have. Here I've top stitched the neckline. I've top stitched it. Beautiful, both the front and the back. So right now I'll go ahead and close up where the sleeve is, just as you can see me do in the video. I'll close it up and also close up the hem. Watch carefully and make sure you take the steps while making yours, and your top will come out well finished and very beautiful. So right here I've gone ahead to stitch that part of the sleeve and also the hem of the top. There is no need to notch that hem since there are no cuffs on it. I'll go ahead and stitch close the zipper right now. Now this is the stage of stitching close the zipper point. Watch carefully how I'm going to do that. I've stitched the zipper. I've stitched the zipper. I'll be turning everything over from the open part of the armhole, guys, and you'll see what I have. Guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel at this point, what are you waiting for? I have lots of fun tutorials to share on this channel and you won't want to miss any. So I'll go ahead and stitch close that armhole side. I'll stitch it close and use bias to turn it up. I'll go ahead and do this and then I'll show you what I have. I'll iron and turn up that armhole and I'll show you what I have. Guys, see what we have here. So beautiful, well finished. See my bias, well turned and lovely. Go ahead and do yours and tag me to what you got. I would like to see what you have. You can follow us on Instagram at @genjes_couture. Don't fail to subscribe, guys. I have lots of fun tutorial to share with you, and also turn on the notification bell so that you will be the first to be notified anytime and every time I upload a new fun tutorial. Thanks guys for watching. Thank you and thank you. Bye.